Good day everyone. Welcome to our new video lesson. This lesson is an alternative way in solving quadratic equation. This process or way of solving quadratic equation is introduced by a current mathematician, Shen. Okay, let us start on how it is done. Let us discuss first the step on how to solve quadratic equation based on the process introduced by Shen. I make my steps based on what I understand the process. Okay, the first one, we have to write the equation in x squared plus b over a of x plus c over a equals 0. So in other words, we are going to make the coefficient of x squared be equal to 1. Okay, then we'll assign another variable. So let's say let u such that half of the additive inverse of the coefficient of x plus u times half of the additive inverse of the coefficient of x minus u equals c over a, or the constant. Then you have to solve this equation form to find the value of u. Then substitute the obtained value of u to the expression. Add the obtained value of u to 1/2 of the additive inverse of the coefficient of x. And at the same time, you subtract the value of u to 1/2 of the additive inverse of the coefficient of x. Then whatever the result, those numbers are the solution set of the given quadratic equation. Okay, so let us have an example on how to solve quadratic equation using the concept introduced by Shen. Okay, so these are the steps that I formulated based on what I understand the concept. Okay, so first we have to make the coefficient of x squared be equal to 1. But as we look at the given, the coefficient of x squared is already equal to 1. So i-write muna natin x squared minus 10x plus 9 equals 0. So 1 na yung coefficient ng x squared. So let us assign another variable. So let's say let u such that the half of the additive of the coefficient of x, itong coefficient ni x is negative 10. Ang additive inverse niyan, meaning yung positive 10, ang additive inverse kunin yung kalahati nun, 5. So yan, 5, pa-plus natin si u, times 5, ima-minus si u, equals to 9, meaning the constant. Okay? So, this equation now, the equation form, using the variable u, yan, so solve natin yan to find the value of u. So we have to expand the product of 5 plus u and 5 minus u. So actually, we can apply special product. Kasi in this one, 5 plus u, 5 minus u. Okay? Ang kaiba lang yung sign nila sa gitna. So we have to square 5. So 25 minus, kopyahin yung sign. Dito lang tayo nag-focus sa may minus sign. Then, square ng u squared equals 9. Okay? Then, we solve. Negative u squared equals 9. Transpose natin si positive 25 to the right side. So, it will become negative 25. So, negative u squared equals 9 minus 25 is equal to 16. Negative 16. So if you divide both sides by negative 1, so the result is u squared equals positive 16. Then we'll get the square root. Kung natin square root niyan, the square root of u squared is u equals the square root of 16 is positive negative 4. Okay? So this value of u will help us to get the solution set of the given quadratic equation. We'll substitute this one to the factors that we have, 5 plus u. So that is now the roots. When I say roots, that is actually the values of x of the given quadratic equation. So you have 5 plus u, and the other one is 5 minus u. Okay, so 5, and then the value of u, the value of this one is positive 4. Okay, so plus 4, then the other one is 5 minus 4. So 5 plus 4 is 9, 5 minus 1 is positive 1. So therefore, this 9 and positive 1 are the values of x. So even if you use the negative 4 instead of positive 4, you will still come up with the same number, 9 and 1. Okay, so therefore, the solution set of this quadratic equation x squared minus 10x plus 9 equals 0 is positive 1 and positive 9. So this is the final answer. Okay, let us have another example. 2x squared minus 16x equals negative 24. So again, ito yung mga steps na tatandaan natin, ipapractice natin sa isip. Okay? So, ang unang gagawin dyan, the first thing that we should do is to make the coefficient of x squared be equal to 1. So, you have now 2x squared minus 16x. Then, we have to transpose this negative 24 to the right side. So, you have positive 24 equals 0. Then we divide each term by the coefficient of x squared, which is 2. So 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared. Negative 16x divided by 2 is negative 8x plus 24 divided by 2 is 12 equals 0. So we write that now in this form. Okay. So x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals 0. Then we'll make now the second step is to assign a certain variable so that we can make an equation. So paano ba yung gagawin? We let u such that yung coefficient ng x squared is negative 8. Ang gagawin mo doon, kunin mo yung additive inverse, meaning yung opposite sign niya, negative 8, ang opposite sign is positive 8, then get the half of that. So, half of 8 is 4. We add the u times 4, then subtract u equals to the constant 12. Okay? So, that's the equation now. And we will solve this equation to find the value of u. So we'll solve that. So we simply multiply the two factors, 4 plus u times 4 minus u. But remember, this is the sum and difference of two similar binomial terms, two terms rather. So special product siya. So pwede dito na lang tayo mag-focus doon sa may minus sign. So we square 4 It will become 16 minus the square of u squared, then equals 12. Okay? Then we solve for u squared equals 12. Transpose this positive 16 to the right side, so it will become negative 16. So negative u squared equals 12 minus 16 is negative 4. Then we divide both sides by negative 1. So your u squared is equal to positive 4. Then we'll get the square root of that. The square root of u squared is u equals the square root of positive 4 is positive and negative 2. So in other words, the value of u is positive and negative 2. This is the value of u. So from that, we can now identify the roots, okay, for the solution set. So the roots are 4, this one, the 4 plus u, 4 plus u, and 4 minus u. Okay, so that is now the roots or the solution set. So the solution set now is, since u is positive 2, can have 4 plus 2 equals 6, and the other one is 4 minus 2 equals positive 2. Okay, so therefore positive 6 and positive 2 are the roots of the given quadratic equation. So even if you use the negative 2, if you substitute 4 plus negative 2 is positive 2, then 4 minus negative 2 is positive 6. So you still come up with same number 2 and 6. So therefore, the solution set of this given quadratic equation is positive 2 and positive 6. Okay, so that is how we solve the equation. Okay, so let us have example. 2x squared minus 10x plus 9 equals 0. So we have to recall the steps that we made. Okay, first we make the coefficient of x squared be equal to 1. So kailangan i-divide natin each term sa coefficient ni x squared, which is 2. So we have now x squared minus 5x plus simply 9 over 2 equals 0. Okay? Then mag-assign tayo ng another variable, so let us u, such that yung kalahati ng additive inverse ng x, so ang additive inverse ng negative 5 is 5. Ito, kalahati ng additive inverse nito ay 5 over 2. Kasi pag sinabi natin kalahati, that is the same as dividing it by 2. Then plus the u, then 5 over 2 minus u should be equal to 9 over 2. Okay? Then, we have to solve this equation. We have to solve this equation to find the value of u. So, you can use the FOIL method or distributive property. But, as I said, this is a special product. You can get the product by just looking at this 5 over 2 minus u, yung may minus sign. Square yung first term, the square of 5 over 2 is 25 over 4. Tapos kopyahin natin yung minus sign, then the square ng susunod na term. u squared equals 9 over 2. Okay? So, negative u squared equals 9 over 2. Transpose natin itong 25 over 4 sa right side. So, it will become negative 25 over 4. So, negative u squared equals 9 over 2 minus 25 over 4. Kailangan kunin natin yung kanilang LCD or common denominator. So, ito, i-divide natin itong 4 sa 2 na denominator ni 9. 4 divided by 2 is 2 times 9 sa numerator. So, you have 18. Then, 4. So, again, divide mo sa denominator ng 25. 4 divided by 4 is 1 times negative 25. The numerator is still negative 25. Okay, so you have now negative u squared equals 18 minus 27 is negative 7 over 4. Then to remove the negative coefficient of u squared, you can multiply both sides by negative 1 or divide both sides by negative 1. So what will happen? If you divide that by negative 1 or multiply it by negative 1, so it will become u squared equals positive 7 over 4. Then we'll get the square root magkabilang side. The square root of u squared is u equals the square root of 7 over 4. 7 is not a perfect square. So, mananatili dyan siya sa square root under the square root sign. But your 4 is a perfect square. So, we have to extract the root. So, that's positive 2. So, in other words, the value of u is positive square root of 7 over 2 and negative square root of 7 over 2. Okay. So, to find the value of x or the solution set of that given quadratic equation, so we'll be using the roots. So the roots ay 5 over 2 plus u and 5 over 2 minus u. So that's the roots. So all we have to do is to substitute now the obtained value of u. So 5 over 2 plus square root of 7 over 2. So they have the same denominator, so we can immediately add the numerator. 5 plus square root of 7, that is 5 plus square root of 7 over 2. And this one, 5 over 2 minus square root of 7 over 2. So we have now 5 minus square root of 7 over 2. So that is now the values of x. So ito. Ito yung magiging value ni values ni x. So therefore, the solution set of this quadratic equation is positive 5 plus the square root of 7 over 2 and 5 minus the square root of 7 over 2. So that let us have another example. 6x squared plus x equals 2. Okay? So this is again the steps. Okay? So ang gagawin, we have to make the coefficient of x squared be equal to 1. Okay? So you have 6x squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. So we divide each term by positive 6. Okay? So this one now is x squared plus 1 over 6 of x. We can write this way, 1 over 6 of x, or x over 6, minus negative 2 over 6, that is 1/3, equals 0. Okay? Then we assign another variable, let u, such that yung additive inverse ng coefficient ni x ay negative 1 over 6. Coefficient ni x kasi positive 1 over 6. Yung additive inverse niyan is negative 1 over 6. Pag kinuha mo yung kalahati niyan, that is the same as multiplying this by 1/2. So that is negative 1 over 12. Right? So meaning negative 1 over 12 plus u times negative 1 over 12 minus u equals the constant negative 1 over 3. Okay? So this is now the equation. So we'll solve this equation to find the value of u. Okay? So this is the square of binomial. I would say this is the sum and difference of two binomials. So square natin yung negative 1 over 12. Square of 1 over 12 is 1 over 144. Minus, kopyahin yung sign, the square of u is u squared equals negative 1/3. Okay? So negative u squared equals negative 1/3. We transpose the 1 over 144 to the right side, so it will become negative 1 over 144. Okay? So negative u squared equals negative 1/3 minus 144. So you have to find the least common denominator. So now pinaka least common denominator nito. So 144. 144. Okay? So you have to divide this 144 doon sa 3. 144 divided by 3. So you have 144 divided by 3 is 48. So negative 48 minus 1. Okay? So you have negative u squared equals negative 48 minus 1 is negative 49 over 144. Okay? 144. So if you divide both sides by negative, so you have u squared equals 49 over 144. So you get the square root both sides of the equation. So ang u mo ay positive negative 7 over 12. So this u, this value of u will be used to find the value of x. So therefore, the values of x, or the roots, or the solution set, is this one. So you have now negative 1 over 12 plus the u 7 over 12, and the other one is negative 1 over 12 minus 7 over 12. So negative 1 plus 7 is positive 6 over 12. And 6 over 12, that's 1/2. So meaning this is one value of x. And next is negative 1 minus negative 7 is negative 8 over 12. And that is equal to 2/3. Negative 2/3. So this is the second value of x. So therefore, the solution set of the given quadratic equation is negative 2/3 and positive 1/2. Okay, so that is how we solve quadratic equation. So this is an alternative way of solving quadratic equations. So I hope you learned something from our discussion. Until next time.